Democratic and undecided voters say it feels like the DNC is punishing New Hampshire for overlooking our first-in-the-nation status. Officials say that the dam has not breached. You can see it's actually working just as it's supposed to. This is about as close as we can get to the spot where 8 of those 18 victims were killed. The youngest, just 14 years old. News 9 Investigates has obtained pages and pages of letters and incident reports alleging several violations. And Bergeron told us these past 2 days have been filled with gratitude. But the major concern right now is flooding. I want you to take a look here behind me. You can see the ocean water is already starting to rise. The goal by the end of today is to make some emergency access points so people can at least get in and out, but they say it could be some time. And if you've already been out to vote today, you may have noticed that President Joe Biden's name is not on the Democratic ballot, but there has been an ongoing effort to write his name in right here. I just want you to take a look at this right now, and I want you to see this show of support by this community here. And it's been a long night for these DPW crews who have fully transitioned from plowing to flood control. We've actually moved over to North Commercial Street in Manchester. About 15 minutes ago, this road was completely underwater. Notice for snow angels. It's good, but it's kind of heavy. The Lottery Commission wants to pull Andy Sanborn's license after the Attorney General says the Concord casino owner and former state senator used more than $800,000 in COVID relief money on personal items like luxury cars.
He used that money to actually buy the first Porsche. It's unquestioned. There's no other way he could have bought that car with other money in that fund, in that account, except for the EIDL funds that were deposited.
Sanborn's legal team calls the state case sloppy and incomplete, saying Sanborn hired an expert to help him fill out the loan application, and that there's no way to differentiate between personal and COVID funds without a forensic analysis, which was not done.
There's a big difference, Mr. King, between intentional misconduct and mistakes or carelessness.
Now it's up to a presiding officer to decide after a 2-day hearing. Meantime, News 9 Investigates has obtained nearly a dozen warning letters and nearly 30 enforcement incident forms from the Lottery Commission alleging violations by the casino from 2019 to this year. Those violations include running promotions not approved by the commission, lowering the prize in a casino tournament from the advertised $700 to $300, and giving charity money to a charity that did not have a current or valid license. And one of Sanborn's attorneys said he'd be open to commenting on those issues after reviewing the documents. Meantime, the presiding officer in this case says he'll have a decision on Sanborn's license by the end of the month. We're live tonight in Concord. Hannah Cotter, WMUR News. Officials running background checks for Granite Staters buying firearms from licensed dealers have access to information in the National Instant Check System, or NICS. News 9 Investigates has been working to uncover what that includes when it comes to someone's serious mental health history. But right now, as things stand right now, is there any mental health information that is made available in the NICS database when someone's going to buy a gun? If someone's involuntarily committed, they're out, they go to buy a gun, is that information made available?
So it really depends on the specific situation, the specific individual we're talking about, but the information that's available is fairly limited.
There are also questions about what should and shouldn't be reported to that database and by whom. A previous attorney general and the courts had different views of a 2016 statute pertaining to the information going into NICS. Attorney General John Formella says today there's still no agreement.
But it's an issue that New Hampshire has been discussing for a long time, and we think now is a good time to really bring those discussions back to the forefront.
We've been asking these questions in the aftermath of a deadly shooting at New Hampshire Hospital, where the suspect who had previously been involuntarily committed to that hospital had guns, and we don't know when or how he bought them. Even though this has been an issue for several years, Governor Sununu says he thinks there now needs to be a policy change.
To hopefully either get it reconsidered or understand what laws need to be changed to make sure that that information is part of the NICS system.
The Attorney General says his office is working with the judicial branch to find a solution to balance the need to protect the rights of mental health patients and the interests of public safety. In the newsroom, Hannah Cotter, WMUR News 9.
Republicans think it's a prank, but we believe it's a crime.
Democratic leaders reacting to Sunday's fake robocall that used what appears to be a computer-generated President Biden voice to encourage people not to vote.
To tell people false information about an election, to me, is an unpardonable sin.
Former party chair Kathy Sullivan has been part of the write-in Biden effort. She says her number was included in the call.
Somebody wanted to hurt Biden. Somebody wanted to lower the number of votes he's getting tomorrow. But what it does tell me is that our effort to have people go and write in Joe Biden's name on the ballot is working, and it's scaring someone.
While parts of it may sound like the president,
voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again. Your vote makes a difference in November, not this Tuesday.
My immediate thought was that, yes, this certainly sounds exactly like President Biden, but I knew the message was wrong.
The White House confirms
that call was indeed fake and not recorded by the president.
Cybersecurity experts say you should always be skeptical of unexpected calls, but there are other signs to look out for.
If you listen to the call, you'll hear certain aspects of it are a little fuzzy. Some of the breaks aren't natural. They aren't the natural way a person would speak. That's a little bit of a telltale sign.
And again, President Biden is not on the ballot, nor has he campaigned here. But in a statement, a Biden-Harris campaign official said in part, quote, spreading disinformation to suppress voting and deliberately undermine free and fair elections will not stand. We're live tonight in Concord. Hannah Cotter, WMUR News 9.